first day of the Texas State 7-on-7 tournament is in the books here in College Station, and we are here to give you our instant reaction. Hello, I'm Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. This is my friend Matt Stepp. We were out there in the balmy weather here in College Station. I got to be honest, dude.
You call me your friend. I'm your friend. That's great.
So we can cut that. I got to be honest. The weather was balmy. It was not great, to be clear. But at the same time, I think we've certainly had it worse in the past.
Definitely could have been worse. It was warm, but it's late June in College Station, Texas. So we managed. We survived day one now. 2 days to go.
So let's break down what we saw. We were driving around in a golf cart saying hi to our friends, watching some little bit of football. Let's start with the Division III bracket and the teams that stood out to you there at Division III. It did seem like there was an upper crust of teams that kind of separated from the pack.
Yeah, this was Division III, and that's typically what we see. There's not as much depth in the Division III field, so I think some of these first-round matchups tomorrow morning may get a little lopsided when you get those 1s versus 4s. To me, I thought Harmony had a really good day. Again, they were great last year in state 7-on-7. They went 3-0 today. I think Gunter, typical Gunter, right? 3-0, pretty solid. Maybe an injury concern there with Lindbergh going out with a shoulder injury. We don't know if he's going to play tomorrow. He did not play most of that last game, and offensively they struggled a little bit, but they got it done defensively, right? I thought Hawley may have been, in a three-game stretch, the most impressive team. Top to bottom, Hawley looked like a real contender to win it all. And then defending champion Miles, very quietly, goes 3-0. Gets pushed in a couple of their games, but I thought for the most part, Miles, the Bulldogs, did a good job. Jacksboro pushed them. They blew out Rogers, and in the last game, they beat Poth by 2 touchdowns. So pretty strong day from the defending champs, very quietly going 3-0.
One of the teams that really impressed me in the Division III bracket, I think, was a team we weren't talking about. How about Millsap? Going 3-0, winning their pool with a really gutty win in the end over East Bernard. Another team that impressed us. Yes. We got to watch a little bit of East Bernard. It's so funny to see these teams, and it seems like they just have the same kind of kids. Just like East Bernard just got long, just fast kids in the secondary. But Millsap, C.R. Tippy, their quarterback, was terrific today, led them to a 3-0 mark. Those are the types of surprises that we're not necessarily used to seeing maybe in the Division III bracket. Kind of as we mentioned, there's a little bit of haves and have-nots in Division III, but I thought Millsap was a really nice surprise today.
They scored 30-plus points in all 3 games, really did a nice job. And then the last game, that big win over East Bernard to win the pool, setting them up with a pretty favorable first-round matchup in the morning.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun there. Division III action in the bracket pool, or bracket action, getting going tomorrow morning. And as we mentioned, it may not get really hot until round of 16, round of 8, but it's going to heat up because these teams are going to start colliding. It's going to be a lot of fun. Did we mention Dangerfield? I thought Dangerfield's really good as well.
Yeah, they went 3-0, had a good day. They've got, I think, a pretty favorable first-round matchup against Goldthwaite, but round 2 tomorrow, if Dangerfield and Albany both take care of business, we could get Dangerfield, Albany in the round of 16.
Yeah, we really liked seeing what Albany was up to today. Okay, let's go on to Division II. We were all over the Division II bracket today. Your overall thoughts on what we saw there at Division II, because this was maybe a little bit more full of surprises. Some of the teams that we expected to be good were good, but I thought there were more surprises in the Division II pool play today.
I think the big story for me was the northern part of the DFW area going combined 9-0. Anna, Salina, and Frisco Panther Creek all go 3-0 and win their pools. We saw Anna in their final game convincingly take care of Silsbee 33-13. Frisco Panther Creek just they go off and they beat Midland Christian, Taylor, and Jasper to win their pool, and then Salina takes care of Lorena and Hampshire Finette in their pool. Salina is a team that has more 7-on-7 pedigree than anyone else out here, and it's been a few years since they've made a deep run, and the Bobcats today look primed to make a deep push. But those 3 teams right there near each other in the northern part of the DFW area, a big day for that part of the state.
Yeah, I'll add in another one kind of in that kind of North Texas part. How about the Ponder Lions? I think the big surprise of the day. The Ponder Lions roll through their pool in dominating fashion, looked good doing it. We sat there, we watched that Ponder versus China Spring game and thought, hey, you know what? If they can hang with China Spring, then we can. Then maybe there's something there. They didn't just hang with them. They took it to China Spring. I thought they were the most impressive team, maybe relative to expectations that we saw today. And Marcus Scholes, we saw him in the end zone going nuts, having a good time there, the new coach there at Ponder. But there's a lot to be excited about. That was a really impressive showing.
Yeah, the Peacock kid.
Case Peacock.
He was he mossed a couple of kids. He's been great on the defensive side of the ball, and they beat China Spring 33-14. Very impressive win for Ponder. They looked great. I thought Pool C, which in the pre-show I called the Pool of Death, turns out to be the Pool of Death because Hitchcock rolls out in the first two games, blows out Sunnyvale, blows out Brownwood, and then game 3. They lose to Davenport 42-33, and that pool ends up a 3-way tie at 2-1. Davenport finishes third in the pool. That's a really tough first-round matchup for Hampshire Fannett in the first round. So you talk about that's the game tomorrow morning I'm going to watch. Hampshire Fannett and Davenport, those are two really, really good 7-on-7 teams, and one of them's going to go home at 8:30 tomorrow morning.
There's two private school teams in the mix this year, and one of them, Lubbock Christian, looked excellent. They go 2-1. They lose a heartbreaker at the end, I believe, to Sulphur Springs to go 2-1. That was a question we had. The big questions about the Eagles coming into this year because they bring back a lot of talent, but they're losing their superstar quarterback backs. Townsend, Welker Horn stepped in and was really solid for them today. I was very impressed with what we saw from Lubbock Christian, and what it does is it sets up some really interesting first-round matchups, including how about some East Texas violence between Carthage, who went 0-3 and maybe at times looked a little disinterested in the action today, but they take on Pleasant Grove, and you want to light a fire under those boys. That's an easy way to do it.
Yeah, that's a game I wish they could put pads on, and we could just have that one move over to A&M Consolidated High School and play that one in real football. That's going to be a fun first-round matchup. I think Carthage will be ready to go for that one. They don't take – not saying they're not out here trying, but 7-on-7, they don't take – they're kind of – they did look like they were going through the motions a little bit, and I think that's just kind of one of those things where Carthage, they're very young, and they lost a couple of games early. I expect them to come out with a lot of fire because everybody's 0-0 tomorrow. Even though if you went 0-3 today, you can still win the championship if you go 5-0 tomorrow. So, and Carthage is good enough to rattle off 5 straight wins. So keep an eye on that first-round matchup. That's a good one as well. And then you start getting into the second and third round. These games start to get really fun and really big. So, but in the Division II side of the things, I think there are a lot more real kind of choice 8:45 a.m. games in that round of 32. Before
we go, and we know we're going to talk a little bit about recruiting here with our friends Greg Powers and Ishmael Johnson and Carter Yates coming up here in just a little bit, but players that stood out to you. I know I enjoyed seeing my boy Armando Luan. I'm the president of the Armando Luan fan club at Sunray. He showed out a little bit today. We got to see Draylon Miller in the finale against Anna, although Anna looked really good in that win over Silsbee. You can see just the smooth route running that he is, and there were a couple plays where you're like, oh, that's a touchdown in with pads on. There was certainly star power all over the field today.
Yeah, absolutely. There's great players. You could just pick a field, especially in the Division II side of things, and you can find a lot of great players. I thought Boston Hudson from Harmony, the quarterback, was really good in the Division III side of things. Aaron Hampton from Dangerfield had a good day in Division II. I thought in the Anna Silsbee game, Jacob Emmers, the wide receiver from Anna, was really, really good in that game. Lemberg, before he got hurt for Gunner, really good as well. So there's always a lot of great players, and it's going to be multiplied 3 or 4-fold tomorrow when the Division I schools get going.
The intensity is only going to pick up tomorrow on Friday, the second day of the Texas State 7-on-7 tournament here in College Station. We will have bracket play for Division II and Division III going up until 1 o'clock when the big boys show up. Division I starting pool play at 1 o'clock. We'll have you covered every step of the way at TexasFootball.com.